What's up, Lazy Dog fam? Hope everybody out there is having a spectacular day. Today we're going to be working in the sweet corn patch. My sweet corn is about 18 inches tall. I need to hill it, H-I-L-L, hill it one more time, and we're going to side dress it with some fertilizer before we do that. So here's our sweet corn patch. We got 7 rows in here. This plot is about 25 foot wide, 40 foot long, so 7 40-foot rows. This is a variety called Yellowstone, a super sweet variety I've never grown before. So this is a corn that makes yellow ears, and this is some fast growing stuff. It's about, if you stretch those leaves all the way out, probably somewhere between 18 inches and 2 foot tall. Color on it is looking pretty good so far. It could stand to be a hair bit greener, but pretty good color so far. Still got plenty of time to green it up a little bit. So I haven't noticed any worm damage so far on these leaves. Nothing been chewing on them. We always want to be on the lookout for that, especially down kind of in this whorl right here. Make sure no worms are in there chewing on the leaves, because then they'll start chewing on the ears when they come along. So something to keep an eye out for, but no damage yet, so no need to treat. I've already came in here and healed this once with the wheel hoe, but that rain that we had this past weekend kind of knocked down my heel a little bit, and I cultivated beside it between these rows yesterday, and that threw a little more dirt up beside those heels, so you can't really tell it's been healed, but it has one time. But we're going to hill it again today and do a little slow release fertilizer on it before we hill it. So one of my garden goals at the beginning of this year was to try to use less or fewer, lesser amounts, however you want to say it, of salt-based fertilizers. And it's tough, especially with something like corn, which has a high nutrient, especially nitrogen demand, to not use those fast-acting, powerful fertilizers. And we have injected 20-20-20, which is a synthetic fertilizer, through the drip tape several times. But for my side dressing, I'm going to try to go with something that's not salt-based. I've used Chilean nitrate a lot in the past, and it works wonderfully, but I'm trying not to put so much salts in my soils, and so we're going to go with something a little different and give it a try. So I found this stuff right here online. This is a product made by a company called NatureSafe. They make a lot of good organic fertilizers, and this is a 1300 analysis, so just straight nitrogen. It does have a tiny bit of ammonia-based nitrogen, 0.19% there, but the rest of this is insoluble, what would be slow release organic nitrogen. And this is derived from feather meal, meat meal, and blood meal, as it says there. And it's supposed to provide a slow release over 8 to 10 weeks. It's in a pelleted form, or so the bag says. I haven't opened it up quite yet, so it should be pretty easy to side dress with. Now, will this stuff work as good as the Chilean nitrate does? I don't know. We're just going to have to see. I've never used it before, so this is a complete test, a complete experiment here. One thing I do know, it won't be near as fast as the Chilean nitrate. This is going to be a much more slow release, and this corn will probably be done before all of it kind of releases. But my hope here is that because it is organic and a slow release, that my soil, when I'm done with the corn, won't be as depleted as it normally would by adding lots of salts and kind of faster fertilizer. So hopefully our soils will be in better shape at the end of the corn grow out, and I presume that this stuff is going to start acting quick enough to feed this corn to some extent there until it's ready to harvest. So let's open this baby up and see what we got here. Kind of looks like animal feed. Kind of smells like animal feed. See it right there? Nice little pellets. Hopefully, Stella, you like the way it smells? Hopefully the dogs don't try to dig it all up, but that's it right there. So it should be pretty easy to apply alongside these plants. So how do we determine how much of this we're going to use? Well, I'm going to kind of go by what I was doing with the Chilean nitrate. So on a plot like this, when I'm side dressing, I would normally put down 10 pounds of Chilean nitrate, which has, I think, an analysis of 15% nitrogen. This is 13% nitrogen, and so I want to put about the same amount, maybe a little bit more of this. And when I used to do that Chilean nitrate, 10 pounds would be about 2.5 of these pictures right here. Pictures, not pictures. And so I can't, or I'm not going to really measure out 10 pounds out of here. But I think about 3 of these full is going to be the right amount. Good thing about this stuff, you don't really have to worry about burning it. It's not like hot or anything. But I think 3 pitchers of this for this plot of corn is going to be just right. So we're just going to sprinkle this fairly liberally right alongside these plants here. And then when we come here and hill it in a minute, we'll cover all that up. All right, so we can see we got it down there alongside those rows. Now, one other possible added benefit to using this stuff as opposed to another salt or nitrate-based fertilizer is pigweed. So you can see some pigweed coming up right there on the end of this row. And we usually have a good bit of issues with it in row growing our corn. We can kind of keep it under control between the rows, but within the row we have some issues. That's one reason we hill, to cover up, smother it out, but it does tend to thrive when you're using a lot of nitrate-based fertilizers. So I've read a few studies on this and I've seen it firsthand in my no-till plot. Using salt-based fertilizers, a lot of nitrates in the soil, just makes pigweed go crazy. So if you're having trouble and just overrun with pigweed, you may want to consider dialing back on the nitrates a little bit. That should help a ton until you can get the pigweed problem under control. And now it's hilling time. I mentioned to you earlier, I've already hilled this one time with the wheel hoe, and this corn's probably too tall to do it with the wheel hoe again. So this time we're gonna have to just do it the old school way with the old rake here. And we can pull a little bit more dirt with this rake than we can with the wheel hoe. And we'll get it healed up nice and tall, get some of those weeds suppressed in the middle there, get that fertilizer covered up, strengthen that root system for that corn in case we get any high winds. Can't go wrong healing your corn tall like this. All right. Took us about 15 minutes and some sweat equity, but we got her did. And it sure does look pretty. To me, there ain't much prettier than some freshly healed rows of sweet corn. So we'll just have to wait and see if this pelleted feather meal, bone meal, meat meal fertilizer can feed this corn as good as that salt-based Chilean nitrate can. Only time will tell. I do know, or I am pretty sure, I'll have a lot less pigweed pressure in there. That's one thing. But we'll just have to see how well it feeds it. Well, you can tell how healthy corn is by just seeing how green the leaves are for the most part. And if it doesn't green up like I want it to, I can always inject some more 20-20-20 through the drip system there. I'm not opposed to doing that to make sure I get a good harvest of sweet corn. And I'm not completely to the point where I'm going to try and grow corn without any synthetic fertilizers. We may get there one day, but I'm just trying to reduce the synthetic inputs to see if we can keep the salts out of our soils a little more. And it looks like we got done with that just right in time, because I see Brooklyn and the kids walking over to the flower plot. So let's go see what they're up to. Sonny, what you cooking tonight?
Hey, so I am cooking pesto. It's our first time making pesto. I'm using chickpea pasta. We're making our own pesto with sausage. So we're gonna see how it is. I'm doing a autoimmune type diet, so sort of eliminated some stuff, and so we're trying to use everything we can out of the garden, and we're not really eating any nightshades just for this week or so, just to try it out. So this is one of the recipes I found.
So you gotta get some basil?
Right, it said about 4 cups, but that's for like a pretty big thing of pesto, so I'm gonna try it first. And another recipe I saw actually said you could use spinach or kale or really anything, but we're gonna go with basil for the more traditional pesto.
Mom, look at this bottom one.
Oh, pretty. So Tata, we leave the ones at the top. And then we're going to pull off on the bottom, okay?
Am I doing a good job?
You're doing a great job. I appreciate you being so careful with these plants. Because we want these to keep making and making and making.
Probably good on that one.
Yeah, that's good on that one. Let's move on to another one. You don't want to leave it completely naked. These are like his clothes.
See these right here when they start doing these blooms like that? I want to make sure we pluck off those blooms. That'll keep them making too.
Right here.
What happened to your belly?
I grow on it.
You draw it on your belly?
Yeah.
That rain splashed quite a bit of
Dirt.
stuff on them leaves. We're gonna have to wash this. Honey, I think we should invest in a pizza oven so we can make our own margarita pizza.
Oh yeah?
What do you think about that?
Pizza,
Where are you gonna put that?
Yeah, what happened to my basil pickers? Y'all become dirt diggers.
We're picking basil, then digging holes in.
Oh, Bubby, be careful.
Sorry.
R.I.P. basil plant. Okay.
It'll grow back. Well, it should grow back. There's still some leaves on it, see? Maybe it'll grow back. You got enough?
I think so. I mean, I don't have a measuring cup out here, but that looks about 4 cups.
Yeah. Probably enough to get started.
Yeah, I think so. It looks good, doesn't it?
So, honey, these blooms right here on these nasturtium plants are edible.
I
Supposedly
know.
they're supposed to be pretty good in salads.
They're so pretty. I
You wanna
looked
try
up a few
one?
recipes. Like right now?
Yeah, let's sample one. Right now.
Okay.
So let's have a good little pepper.
I'm
flavor.
nervous.
Go for it.
I mean, I've never eaten a flower before, but I
Pretty
feel like
good?
it tastes edible. It does not taste spicy.
I heard it was peppery, supposed to be. Just eat the whole thing. Maybe you haven't got...
No, I'm a little hesitant about that. I don't want to eat the stem and everything.
Yeah, you eat the whole thing. I think people put them in salads whole.
I'm getting the pepper now.
There
it is. Woo! It just tastes good though. I mean, good for a flower.
Yeah.
I like it. Adds a different taste.
Let's get these blooms in.
What do you want to put them in?
Well, let's get them before they dry up.
Okay, just pluck them off, I guess.
Yeah. See, you want to get them before that right there happens. So that one there's done dried up. It's no good.
So why'd you plant these? Just because they're pretty?
Well, they're easy to grow. Yeah, they're pretty. It's supposed to be really good for pollinators and beneficial insects. And
They look like little tiny lily pads.
yeah, do have a neat little leaf pattern there to them.
Okay, let's give one to Titus. He'll eat anything. Titus, do you want to eat this flower?
Come on, Ty-Ty.
No, eat it.
Okay. So guys, listen, you can't just eat any flower. You can only eat these type of flowers and flowers that I tell you are okay to eat, all right?
Eat the whole thing.
Now, just try, take a petal off. Try a petal. Give a petal to Titus. I already ate one. What do you think? It tastes, what would you say it tastes like?
Yeah, I just want to see how good it tastes, so I just like swallowed it.
Is it good?
Daddy, hey, you want to eat a flower?
Titus, you want to eat that flower?
Nope.
Try a bite.
Nope.
All right, honey, so you see the zinnias right here?
Yeah.
So we're about to get our first bloom on these.
Right.
And so most folks would say, oh, that's going to be so pretty. Let's leave it there. But you don't want to leave it there. You want these plants to kind of get more bushy and not so tall and lanky.
Yep.
So what we're going to do is come in here. You see right here where it kind of forks?
Yeah.
Like that, we want to trim all these right there. So take off that first bloom.
Okay.
Yeah, you can just chunk that. So that's going to make these plants nice
So this one
and
too.
bushy so they not get blown over.
So down here?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Right there. Make the stems a little stronger.
So this one doesn't have a, oh, there's the fork.
Yeah. So right down to that fork there. And then we'll get a lot more lateral stems, a lot more blooms that way. So yes, it will delay us seeing some pretty flowers, but it'd be better for the plants long term. Elsewhere in the flower garden, we got some cosmos here that's blooming. Our bright lights cosmos. Watch out, Stella. This cosmos over here hasn't started blooming yet. This variety here, I can't remember what it's called, but it makes some pretty blooms, but it gets kind of tall and leggy. I don't know if I should trim it back hard so it doesn't start falling over so much, but it should start blooming pretty soon. And we got a marigold blooming here. We got some celosia starting to bloom here, and some borage blooming there. Lots and lots of good stuff going on in the flower / herb plot. Well, it's getting about supper time. The sun's trying to set, so it's time for me to go inside, try some of this basil pesto sausage stuff Brooklyn made. Let me know what you think about that corn fertilizer we're trying. You ever tried anything like that? Do you think it's going to work? Do you think it's too slow release for corn? You know, I'd love to hear your opinion on the matter. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe, ring the bell, like, and share. And we'll see you next time right here at the Lazy Dog Farm.
Oh, farewell, beauty of your life.